Hello and welcome to the Her Game Her Story podcast. Today I'm joined with two special guests. If you want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Izzie and I'm co-captain of Bucks Ones at Cardiff Met.
I'm Amelia and I'm currently Bucks 3 coach at Cardiff Met.
Before you joined Met, what intrigued you about netball? Like, how did you get into playing? Just a bit of background about what you did in netball before coming to Met. So, any of you want to go first?
So I used to play football when I was in like year 6, and then when I started secondary school, I started playing netball there, and then got into like the county programme, and then just kept playing from there really.
Yeah, I started like in primary school. I went to an all-girls primary school, so it was either like netball rounders or hockey, and that was it really. And I remember we got like an actual dedicated PE coach, and she came in, and we ended up going to like county schools and stuff like that, and just doing tournaments. And I kind of fell in love with it there. Started playing again when I was in year 7 probably, and then from there my school coaches were just like, oh, you should definitely join a club. Went and joined a club. With the club we played regional, and then I went to county, and then from there went to like Northwest region for a bit, and yeah, that's how I started.
Yeah. What position did you guys play as well? Just so everyone knows.
I was called defence when I started. So now looking back, I was a massive kid. So I was like 5'5" at like 10. So I was so big. So it was so great. And then everybody else grew and I didn't. So yeah, I slowly like basically when I went to county, they were like, funny, you're a goal defence. Absolutely not happening. Move into centre, like wing defence, centre, wing attack. And then I've now gone all the way down and trying to come back up into mid-court again. But yeah.
I started goal defence, wing defence, and then moved to wing defence centre, so always been the same position really.
So why did you join Met? So like, was it open evenings, or did you hear about it from other people? And then how did you hear about Met netball as well then?
Okay, so mine was, I was supposed to go to a different uni, but I didn't get the grades, so I had to go through clearing. And then, because I was in COVID year, there wasn't many like clearing spaces, because I was looking for somewhere that I knew had Prem netball. So there was like Cardiff Met, or I think Hertfordshire was the other one. But then I had a look at the courses and decided Cardiff Met, partly because it was like closer to home, and then partly because I knew the netball was good, and I was playing for Bath as well at the time, so it was like close enough to travel there as well.
Yeah, mine was a bit different to yours. Mine was, I ended up having to resit my A-levels because my dad wasn't very well when I did my actual ones. So in that year, I was kind of like, actually, I want to go somewhere like I feel is like a closer-knit community than like a massive uni. Obviously being from Liverpool, like it's a massive uni city with 3 unis in, and I didn't want to be like trekking across town and stuff. So like Cardiff Met came up in conversation. My uncle actually came here when it was Ewick, when he used to play rugby for England age groups. So I knew that it was a really good sports uni, and then basically just did a bit more research into the netball side of it, and obviously the links with, you know, franchise netball, Welsh netball being in Cardiff and stuff. I just thought it'd be a really good opportunity for where I wanted to go, like with netball and with my career in general.
Yeah. So talk about both of your journeys at Met. So we joined at the same time, but you're in a different university from the beginning. But we started together, but not from your beginning, from my beginning. So do you want to talk about that a bit? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I joined the same year as Georgia, and then I've been in the first team for like the past, well, it's my 4th year. Yeah, and then I was I co-captain or vice-captain last year?
I think vice last year.
I was vice-captain last year with Lucy being the main captain, and this year I'm co-captaining with George.
Yeah, mine was very different. So I started in 2020 because I feel like an old woman now. So I'm in my 5th year. God. Never thought I'd actually be here for 5 years though, you know. Like, I knew I'd do a master's in that, but I thought, oh, maybe I'd go to a different uni, but Met's got a chokehold on me. But yeah, so I started in 2020. And obviously it was COVID, so I remember we used to like train on the Astros and things like that, and it was actually our head of netball's first year doing it, and I remember she'd come with like COVID officer on like her back.
Cute.
Yeah. And she'd have like a high-vis jacket, and she used to have to like sanitize all the balls. It was terrible. And I remember like turning up, and it'd be like icy, like how it's been the past few days, and you go flying on this Astro, and you'd have like cuts all down your leg if you fell over. We weren't allowed to play proper contested netball. We were only allowed to do like certain drills in certain groups. So it was a mad year, like the weirdest year of playing netball in my life. And then we ended up being able to use the courts down in Penarth because they were outside. Yeah. But if you've ever been to those courts, they're the graveliest courts in the world. Like, you cannot really do anything. Like, if you went for an intercept, you'd literally skid all the way off court. Like, it was terrible. So like that was when I first came to Met, and then I broke my leg at the end of my first year.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so like we just started playing. I think we were going to have a game against Youth Dragons at that time. I can't remember what age group it was, but it actually might have been you. It might have been you, actually. It might have been, because would you have been under 19s or under 18s then? You would have been under 19s.
Yeah, I would.
So I think it was probably like you and that team at the time. We were placed so we weren't really in teams, we were like in tiers then. So it's basically like what the 1s and 2s would be now was tier 1, and then you'd had like tier 2, which like myself, like India was in there, Jojo was in there, Amy Hinsley was in the 4th team in that year. Like it was mental. Yeah, it was so strange. But because like we didn't do any match play trials, we just did a load of drills and stuff. So like I remember when I first came to trial in our first year, I ended up trialing first of all with the 5s and 6s, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell is this? Like I thought, like I was so confused. No, but I was like just really confused. Like I'd obviously put my playing experience on, and I was like, this is, you know, crazy kind of thing. Like I couldn't believe we were trialing outside and we were only allowed to do like certain things. Yeah. And then I started in that trial with the 5s and 6s, then got asked to stay for the like 3s and 4s one, and then got asked to go to the 1s and 2s one as well. So I think I ended up trialing for like 5.5 hours that day. And Kira actually said to me, she was like, I didn't know like how you were going to play, so I just put you in that group, and I ended up doing a full day, so that was mad. But yeah, I ended up breaking my leg at the end of that year, so I did tib, fib, all my ligaments. I had a full fracture, just a straight one, and then I had I think it's I call it a spiral fracture, which is where it chips down the middle and then spins. So I did that in a park playing rugby ball, like literally the week before we were actually supposed to come in and play netball.
Oh, God.
So a lot of my time at Met has been injured. I spent pretty much 2 seasons rehabbing. I actually came back for a pre-season in when did I have it done? My 3rd year? Did I have my 2nd operation? Yeah, it must have been. So I had my first operation in my 1st year. I had an RF, so that's like basically fixation inside your ankle, which is I had 8 screws and a plate and a ligament band put in. So really invasive surgery, and then went back, started training again, was lucky enough to be placed in the 2s, even though I knew I wasn't going to get as much game time that year because I was like recovering from a pretty major injury. Like it took me forever to learn to run properly again. Like I was limping for nearly 18 months after still when I was running. But yeah, and then like in my 3rd year, I ended up having to have surgery again because my metal moved by 2 millimeters, so it doesn't sound a lot, but it was catching on my soft tissue. So then I had to have another surgery again, and then
I just remember that.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I feel like they just remember me being there, but they don't remember what happened. But yeah, so then I had to have another surgery again. So I was out for another 8 to 12 weeks, then rehabbed again. Then I came back. I think I played like maybe a game and a half for 2s in that year. The whole time I was doing S&C, and it was really good.
My 2nd year.
Yeah, and everyone was really good with me. This is the thing. I feel like people just forget that's what happened. Yeah. It was massive. Then came back for my 3rd lot of pre-season, so when I started my masters, which was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And then basically I started coaching that year as well, so I was involved in a lot of the conversations, and I was lucky enough for Kira to be like, listen, like you're either going to sit on the bench for the 2s or you're going to play for the 3s. Which one do you want? And I think at that point I just wanted a full book season, and as much as I was sad to be leaving performance squad netball because I'd been involved in it for so long, like outside of uni before and then coming back in, I was like, I actually just need to get my confidence back up and get going. So yeah, so then I played and coached last year for the 3s, and then I'm just coaching this year with the odd books appearance when needed.
Yeah, you played last week, didn't you?
Yeah, I played last week for the 6s. We lost. But no, but yeah, so I played for the 6s, I've played for the 3s, but yeah, I'm basically like a club sub at the moment. Like I'm still playing, obviously, for like both of us still play for the league team on a Thursday night, which is really good, just to get a bit more confidence, a bit more game time, especially like Iz being such a high level. If she doesn't have a game that week, it's good to actually get time on court and stuff. But I feel like my experience has been so different to yours anyway.
I don't even remember this.
Yeah, I remember like my first year, I remember breaking it, and I had to text Kira, and I didn't really know her at the time because obviously our first year was so weird, but I remember texting her being like, I've broken my leg, I've got to have surgery like a week today, to have plate and metal fitted. I'm in a cast. I'm so sorry I can't play the game on the 26th because I broke it on the 19th, and she was like, don't be silly, like it's fine, let us know if we can do anything for you. And then I remember like coming, I've got a photo actually, I'll see if I can find it for you, and it's like me, Jojo, Beatrice, Renyard, India's in it as well. When and we're all stood, and we're all stood like a metre and a bit apart because obviously it was COVID. So we'd all played, like they'd played the game. I'd come and sat and scored on my crutches.
She got bleached
like,
blonde hair.
She does have bleached blonde hair.
No.
And I've got like my purple cast on and that. But but like that was my first year. It was mental. But I feel like people forget about it. But I didn't get my kit until after I broke my leg in my first year. Like, that's how long it took for Kit to come in that first year as well.
God.
So, I've had a bit of a hell of a journey, to be honest, with netball.
God, well, what's been your favourite year then? Well, let's go on your favourite year. Of all of that that's happened, what's been your favourite year?
I don't really know. I think, like, every year I've really enjoyed. I don't think there's been a year that I haven't. Like, even though I was injured for basically 2 seasons, I never felt like I was like not meant to be where I was. Like I felt like I was always supported, like because obviously you were in there in your first year, which was really good and that, and I always felt supported by everyone. Like I felt like no one was ever like, oh, why is she still here, she's injured, like she shouldn't be as part of this team, because I think like my work ethic kind of showed like I was willing to put the effort in. It was just unfortunately I picked up an injury really early on in netball in uni. So I really enjoyed like all of the I really enjoyed all the early morning like S&C stuff, like as much as like at the time it was really hard. I think it was just such a good experience, and I think something that people sometimes do take for granted a little bit here. But no, I think I can't really pick a year. I think I've just really enjoyed it. I think like this year is a really good year, but for different reasons. So like playing years, I think last year was such a good season for me because having the threes and being in the threes, it's the first time that the threes have gone into that division and stayed in that division instead of coming straight back down. So to finish, I think we finished 4th or maybe 5th in that league. So that was a really big like coaching success for me, and also a playing success. Like I never thought after breaking my leg in first year that I'd be coming back and playing full games. So that's been really good. But then this year, like coaching and things like that, I feel like I've come into my own coaching, especially with like having the experience from coaching you guys in varsity and things. It's been, I feel like I can't pick a year. So
I think mine has to be last year, because I think our team was we all got on so well. You had Lucy, Poppy, Ellie, who all just made the team atmosphere so good. I just think has to be my favourite out of all of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What has been your toughest uni to play against, home and away?
Bath.
It's both home and away, or just away? Or home?
Last Wednesday.
Oh, God.
Bath are always tough because they always have such a good crowd. And I wouldn't say we always get along with their umpires. And they're just such a strong team. Yeah. So every time we play them, either home or away, I feel like we struggle.
I also feel like because a lot of the girls have been involved in, franchise netball for so long.
Like you're playing against people you've played with, coaches that have coached you.
Or people you've trialled against and maybe just missed out too. I feel like that. I think it's not necessarily talent, it's more of a mindset.
Mental thing,
I think like the mindset, especially like Bath they do have a winning mindset. And I think sometimes at Met we have that little inkling of doubt, like obviously coaching you guys in those situations, I've seen it. And it's like you actually need to believe in your talents, because collectively you are a really strong side. And I think we just let the big names and stuff get to our heads when realistically they're the ones we've got the most data on. Yeah. So
me and India said that every time we played Clash on the Court.
Oh my God, yeah. That's like the mental thing again.
We've never won Clash on the Court.
Like,
have you not?
No.
Oh my God.
We had Bristol, who we should have beaten, and then we
I
ended
remember
up
that. Didn't you lose by like 8 or something in the end?
It was less than that. It was like 6.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really bad. But then we went and played them away.
Oh,
and we
I sat on the bench for that game. Yeah. I remember that. That was my first like proper event to actually coach.
When we played them away, we beat them by like 20 something plus.
It's just when it was just typical in my head.
Yeah, when we had the crowd and the video. And then lost to Hartbury, which was a tough game. And when we played away, it would be a tough game. But
it could have gone. We could have won that game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They did play really well, to be fair to them, but yeah, just baffles me.
Yeah. I know. That's crazy though. I think Bath is definitely a mindset though, especially for you guys. Like, even for like when we were in the twos, do you remember playing their twos? And I think we won by 1. And it was like in your maybe your first year, or maybe second year. I can't remember. It's all one big year for me. But yeah, and I remember being there. And again, like you said, like umpires is always really hard because, like, you know, as much as people are unbiased, not everyone is unbiased, and I think there is some subconscious bias, and in the sense of like, you know, not necessarily they support them more, but there's different styles of netball, and I think the English way of netball and the Welsh way of netball, even though we're only separated by a bridge, is actually really different. Like coming from Liverpool, it's a completely different setup down here, and, you know, different type of contesting. So some things that we might consider not to be contested and be full contact over the bridge are actually full contact, like are actually just contested balls and things. So I think it's hard to adapt to that style as well.
They let a lot more go, I think.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah. Over here, they love a whistle.
but I even noticed that, like, going from like playing in the Cheshire League up in like the northwest, then playing regional up there. So like Cheshire League was quite like very similar to Welsh netball, I guess, because it's so close to North Wales. That, like, you know, they were willing to blow a lot more and let a lot more like be seen and stuff like that. Whereas in regional, because we were playing like teams like Oldham, Tameside, you know, big names like Bury. And everything like that, like they were just willing to let all contest basically go, and if you weren't used to that and couldn't stand up to the fight, then you kind of did get blown out the game, which is where those big gaps emerge. And I think that's just what kind of happens with Met a little bit sometimes, is we're just not used to that specific umpiring style, and it's not anyone's fault. It's just, you know, the development in England is a bit more ahead than it is in Welsh netball.
I don't like playing Hartbury away. I never have.
No?
Even for my first year, no. I don't think I've ever lost.
Have you never played Hartbury?
Away. We've only played them home. This is the first year they're in our league.
Is this your first year playing Hartbury?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No,
We played it in pre-season.
I didn't play that game.
Did you not play?
No, I played the Millfield game.
Oh, wow.
So you've never played
I feel like
Hartbury
we've
away?
played Hartbury so many times.
We have.
Because...
I remember watching it, the video.
Yeah, like... And
There's
it's always
always
been
a
so
rivalry.
tough. Yeah, there's always been that. I think especially with their ones and our twos, like, that was tough. And I think we just missed out on a couple of times.
Well, we were all like salty when we lost in the
sports hall. That sports hall's cursed.
Wait,
just going to say it now.
happened in the
Do
sports
you not remember the cup final?
Yeah.
Oh, were you...
That was your first year.
That was Hartbury was my first year, and then Worcester was
Second
Yeah,
year.
I'm thinking of Worcester, where you actually...
That Worcester
that
one
was...
was...
We don't
Yeah,
talk
we
about
don't talk
that.
about that. That one's tainted.
God.
We don't like that one.
God.
But yeah.
So I asked Indy this question as well, and I know we've talked about this.
Oh, God.
You know what's going on? So name your 7 like all-star Met team who you've played with. I'll let you do, if you want, you can do player coach, but
Okay, cool.
I want you to try and stick with who you played with.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
But
You can go first.
Okay.
he's really thought about this.
I
feel like I need to write mine down.
You have.
Okay,
Not India.
India's not even like on the bench. Like, she's not even in my brain right now.
Not that you're salty because you weren't on hers.
No comment. I think I'll start with goal shoot. So I think I would put Sophie Jackson, who is our current goal shooter there. And then goal attack, probably Macy Lane.
Yeah.
Because I love playing with her.
Yeah.
I feel like she's so easy to feed as well, isn't she?
She don't miss
Literally.
either.
No,
she didn't miss.
when she's on, she's
Incredible.
like, she's hot.
Wing attack.
You got a lot of options to be fair.
I
'cause
know, I'm
you've-
trying to
You've
think.
played with a lot
been
of wing
lot of
attacks,
good
to be
players.
fair.
Tia's was the main one, I feel like.
Yeah.
I would probably say Tia, to be fair.
Yeah.
She's so good. I still play with her at Romans, so
There you see.
Yeah.
I enjoy playing with her.
Her netball brain, I
centre.
think, is just amazing. So, like,
Yeah.
even when she's not actually actively on ball, she just knows what's going on. It's mental.
Centre. You probably, George, to be fair.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cute.
I know.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
She's just saying that
Winford.
because I'm
actually not just saying that. No, I'm just trying to think. It would either be me or you.
Well, you have Calf,
Yeah.
Guano.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Wow, we're throwing
Yeah,
it back.
I did think about them, but I just feel like
Oh, thanks, Iz.
it'd put you.
It depends what type of centre you want,
Yeah.
doesn't it? And if you've got Tia Medic at wing attack, you do not
Yeah.
need Kath
Yeah.
Titley at centre.
True.
Like, that's a lot of speed in that attacking third.
Wing defence. Maybe Saren.
Oh, yeah. Got that.
Who was first year wing defence? Was it Saren?
It probably would have been Sarah.
I think so. I'm trying to
Maddie
think of
played though in your first.
Oh, yeah,
year as
Maddie
well.
as
Yeah.
well.
Eloise was in there in your first year.
Oh yeah, Eloise was in my team.
Yeah.
I think I'd put Sarah.
Cool.
Should have set an order.
No.
Maddie's going to be fuming.
No, because I'll put Maddie at goal defence.
Okay. Oh, you're not going to put Lucy and Poppy?
No, I'm going to put...
No.
I'm going to put Maddie at goal defence, and then I'm going to put...
Oh, God.
Lucy or Poppy.
You've got to pick.
You have to pick one.
And you play with one of them still, so be careful what you say.
And then I put Lucy at goalkeeper.
Okay.
With Poppy on the bench, ready to go in goalkeeper.
Just in case.
Yeah, that would be my 7.
Oh, God, I'm trying to think of mine now. Who have I played with?
You played with a few as well.
I've played quite a few. I think I'd probably put Emily Davis at goal shooter.
Yeah.
She was my favourite to feed. Yeah. And like her movement, for such a tall girl, she's so agile. Mm-hmm. And like I always found playing with her, she was just so supportive. So I really like that.
Yeah.
Amy Hinsley has to be my goal attack.
Yeah.
She has to be. Like the faith you have in that girl when you give her the ball is stunning. Wing attacks, who I've played with. I'd probably go for Chloe Evans.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would.
What year did you play with Chloe?
Her first year, my second year.
Oh, first year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd go Chloe Evans for my wing attack. Then you at centre.
Thanks.
Again, like trying to balance like the speed and like the netball brains out there. Huh? No, but you're like your netball style. You're more of a floater, and you'll happily like let Chloe run her thing, and then just pop in when you're needed. Like you're so good at like being just a babysitter. I'm trying to think. Wing defence. I probably put Jojo Bayless in there at wing defence. Like she's a grafter, so it's gonna have to be Poppy then Lucy. Because I played with both of them. Do you remember in our first year? Yeah, because like people switched around in our first year, didn't they? So they were both in our team when we got promoted.
I forget that.
So I'd put Poppy,
Who
good
was
defence.
in my circle in first? Oh, Millie Carter.
Yeah.
Millie.
And Eloise. Saren.
Saren. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'd probably put I'd go Poppy then Lucy. So Poppy got defence, Lucy goalkeeper. But yeah, I think especially in their last year they were just like so on the ball. Like they played stunning last year. But
did India make it onto your bench?
yeah, I think if I had to pick a 3, do I have to pick a 3 or can I just do my 7?
You don't have to.
You can only have one on the bench.
India can like have a foot in the door, I guess.
Fine then.
She can peer in through the window.
I think I addressed this last time, and your name did get mentioned as well, about fake tan. I said that Izzie has the worst fake tan. And
Get your hands out, please.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, pretty
You
bad.
have to show the camera.
I said at the moment, if you asked me a year ago, I wouldn't have said yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't really fake tan a year ago.
But now, I think you're the worst fake tan in the team. So
I would
who
say
do you
right
think?
this second, me, but that's because I need to scrub it off. But I would say Kat.
Would you?
I've
Yeah.
only seen cats.
Because there was one time she came in and she was green.
Oh, it's not good, is
She came
it?
into S&C and she looked green.
There's quite a few culprits, I think, on my radar.
Trin's
Trin-
quite bad.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. It's when Trin sweats, you can kind of like see it on her neck. So I feel like,
down her neck.
yeah. And then she asks you if it's running, and you're like, yeah, babe. There it is. I don't know who Emily Davis would be one of them.
What was hers bad?
Hers. Do you not remember? She used to like scrub her legs red raw before a game.
Really?
Yeah, because she was like, I'm not going on court if I'm not tanned. But I guess that's because like she was third year and I was second year, so like I guess we spoke a bit more than when you were scared in a first year.
Yeah, fair.
But then there's like Sasha Hartley. Her neck is always terrible. She's always got Tiger Loaf going on. Yeah, all the time. But no, I think it was definitely probably not necessarily the worst. I mean, you're pretty bad. You are pretty
Not
bad.
all the time.
It's your hands, mate.
Yeah, it is your hands.
It's cars on your hands. What? Oh God! See your Tiger
No,
Loaf now too.
I just said this is bad now because I need to scrub it, but it's not normally bad.
Not on your arms, but your hands are always terrible, my love.
Your hands.
Well, especially when you had like orange palms
It's because I did my face.
and not wash your hands afterwards.
No, because I did the back of my hands, so I couldn't wash them because then it would come off.
I
Anyway.
saw a photo of us in first year. Oh
my God! I had that photo of you from varsity where your hands were terrible. We'll insert that one in here as well.
Really?
Yeah. No, we do.
I just thought how pale that I look. I literally looked.
You didn't fake tan though. Until
No,
I
fake tan didn't pop up on your radar till halfway through second year.
You were white. To be fair.
You look like a bit
actual
of a ghost
paper white.
sometimes.
Imagine it was India. She was just saying that like she had like slim shady hair and she was white.
Yeah. India didn't discover fake tan until recently, I don't think either. Until like the past 2 seasons, she's definitely only
The
just
girl with the
discovered
best
fake
tan was Poppy. Hands down.
Hers is natural.
though.
Maddie
No,
Bromwich.
as well.
Maddie Bromwich uses tan, and I didn't even know that.
No,
I
I
thought it was
didn't
just
know that
natural.
until
It's just that
Yeah,
gradual one.
Yeah,
but Poppy's was really good.
Mad, yeah.
Yeah.
Poppy's is stunning. But again, was hers natural or?
It's like both. They both tan.
Yeah, they
naturally
both
anyway.
go such a nice colour.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, who has been your hardest Met player to play against, and then hardest player just in general of all the unis you played?
Okay, hardest Met player would probably be Tia Medic because I just struggled to mark her so bad. She's just such a good player. So quick, like you can't keep up with her. And she knows how to like use her body to like take ball on the move as well, which is like the hardest
So hard to
thing.
defend, yeah.
So hard to defend. Any player. Have you got yours? I need to think about the other one.
I'm kind of thinking because obviously, like, I've been in and out, haven't I? I think I'd probably go Lucy Taylor-Hunt because, like, you try and body up on her, but she literally is just so quick around the front of you. So, like, a lot of my game, obviously, goal attack is, like, I put myself on body to come off. I'm not tall. Like, I have to play front always. Otherwise, I ain't getting the ball. But, like, she either comes on flies out of nowhere and her timing's impeccable, or like you'd body up on her and even though you could feel her behind you, she'd still manage to get an arm in around the front. And I feel like you couldn't. And then her lean as well and her jump. Like I just always found it really like she's the one that I'd go, oh God, I've got to like have a go and try for this one. Like I think some of the others I can be like, right, I know what I can do to like kind of catch him out. But with Luce, I feel like I exhausted all my options and then was just kind of left.
I'm trying to think who we played.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think.
Ballervelas when I played against him.
Oh, yeah, no, fair.
Who did I mark in that game?
I'm trying to think.
I think I was centre.
No, you were Windy.
I was wing D.
Yeah.
Who was her wing attack? Well, she can't have been that good because I can't remember. Jokes. I mean, anyone from that team. I would say I just
we
can't
can
remember.
joke about it because they.
Yeah,
like,
I know because we got beaten by like 80 goals.
Yeah, but it's fine.
I'm trying to think who their wing attack was.
Hertfordshire, their attacking thing are really good.
Yeah, that little wing attack, goal attack.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah.
She's so good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't even know her name either. I feel really bad.
Sophia.
Is that her name?
Is it the new one, the fresher?
This little one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it is.
Is she a fresher? She's experienced for a fresher.
I'm
Fair.
trying to think who
She's
else.
been in England.
Oh, I mean, yeah, fair then. I think mine was, and you used to play with her at Romans, the goal defence from Bristol with the braids.
Iffa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
she's
was really
good.
hard. Again, like she would literally just come out of nowhere on flies and you'd think you were free. Even if you were like driving towards ball, like you'd go and she'd just come and like take an outside arm and you'd be like, oh, right. And I think I only played against her like maybe twice, but I think she's probably the hardest one that I've played against. Like she's sick.
Yeah.
So fair play to the girl.
There's someone who you play against, and I always think, oh, this is going to be
A good contest.
Yeah, I can't think who it is though.
You and Becca, I think, from Bath is always a good contest. But I think that's been a good contest for years, so that's why.
Oh, who is it?
Is it Phoebe Mansell?
It might have been.
To be
Yeah.
fair, when we play Bristol and I have to mark, well, when we're against each other, I always think it's quite a
Yeah.
tough match.
Is there anyone that does psych you out? A
Psych
little
me
bit?
out?
Yeah.
Loads of people.
Really?
Liv Selby used to be.
I feel like you're so calm and collected on court though. Like I feel like you can never
Oh,
tell
yeah,
if you're
I don't
stressed.
feel
Like
it.
George just goes quiet if she's stressed. But then
I
like
try and keep it inside.
yeah, I feel
My
like
face is normal, but
yeah.
I'm actually not.
I feel like I've never seen you actually really be like, oh, I'm actually really struggling now.
We're both kind of like quiet, I'd say.
Yeah.
On court.
Yeah.
Even though we're both
I think you're both
captains, we go for a different approach.
yeah, I think you're both just really like technical. Like you just suss out what
Yeah.
you have to do and then you do that. And that's like something that I like from a coach's perspective with you guys is like, I know that you guys know what you're trying to do. And then you'll be like, right, this is what I'm trying to do, but what am I doing wrong because it's not happening or something? And then it's so easy to coach because you're like, right, I understand you've done this. Now, maybe let's try this approach instead. But you are like, the pair of you would never be able to tell that either of you like were nervous in any way if you went on court. Ever.
Good.
Not from what I've seen, not from when I've coached you or like played with you at
I
all,
never
really.
really get that nervous for games.
No.
I get more. I'd probably say more excited than nervous.
I get nervous.
Yeah, I feel like you've always got
remember-
nerves.
I know.
When we played Clash,
Yeah.
you were sitting next to me and you're like, oh, a bit.
But you're always nervous for like anything though. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
know.
fitness
But that's
testing you
good.
get nervous for like
No, I get nervous.
every year. Like I think you're actually the only person here Matt, who has been in the first team for 4 years.
Yeah, you have.
Jen.
Yeah, Jen. Like, you actually are.
Achievement.
Yeah.
From now,
like at Met currently, you are the only
Ellie
person.
was also.
Because Ellie
but
was, but she's left.
Only did 3 years.
Yeah. Maddie was in the twos for a year, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Mad for me.
Because she was with us.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah. So, which is mental to
There
me.
you go.
wow.
But yeah, but like I said, she's the person who gets the most nervous when it comes to fitness testing.
And trials.
And trials.
everything.
Like, will you like? And you've never been moved from that space.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's crazy.
I hate Met trials.
Yeah.
Really.
Recently,
I don't mind them now that I coach them.
recently, I don't mind them as much, only because you go in slots.
Yeah.
But I remember in our first and second year, I swear,
they were horrible.
we were there for ages.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And then coaches would come around and go, right, you can leave. You
Yeah.
can leave. And then sometimes coaches, I remember one time, it was when I wasn't even supposed to be trialing because I wasn't actually supposed to be playing netball. And I just did. I turned up and I was like, oh, I'm going to do a bit. And Kira was like, okay, yeah, fine. And then I was just sat there for ages and everyone else had been sent home who I'd been friends with the year before because it must have been in my third year.
Yeah.
And then she was like, are you still here? And I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, you can go. And I was like, oh, thanks. But oh my God, it took so long for her to send me home. I think I was there for like 2.5 hours. And like, I wasn't obviously allowed to play loads because I was waiting on surgery like the week and a half after. So it wasn't very
What
good.
year was when we did trials in the in Nyack? Yeah. What year was that?
That was last year.
Was that last year?
Yeah.
Hate that.
It was horrible that year.
Yeah, I hate the Nyack floor. Like, I hate it.
On that.
It hurts. It really hurts.
It hurts my leggings.
You ripped your
Did you fall over?
Shock.
That's funny. I don't feel like you fall over that much, though.
Recently.
I was going to say recently.
I don't think you fall.
so
I feel like you just buckle. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't actually fall over. You just kind of like...
I have a video in, I can't remember his first or second year, my legs just go, and I just fell on the floor. It looked like I've been shot. Honestly.
Wait, I think you showed me
I
that.
probably have shown you.
I love watching videos of us falling over. Like, I've got a video on my phone and Chloe Evans sends me this mad pocket ball, right? And I literally go on it and I'm goal shooter and Amy's goal attack. And I fly out on it on like a 45 and I catch it, turn, I'm falling out of court. I pass it to Amy. Amy doesn't realise I've gone skidding across the floor. So she puts the shot up. I run in like high five her.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, and just carries on. And I'm like, Amy, you know I went flying? And she was like, oh, I didn't even see you. And Chloe was like, I'm sorry. I was like, you nearly killed me. Like, I sent it to her every year off my Snapchat memories.
Oh my God. So what's been your toughest Met moment, you think?
I think for me, mine was my second time coming back from injury and I was in a boot and I felt like it was taking forever. And I
What
remember,
year was I in now?
That was your second year. So this is when did you go into first? When did you go into first team? Third year? Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like I only had you for a year. But yeah, and then in that year, and Katie Winnicott had been brought up that year.
That was in my second year.
That's what I just said.
Oh, I thought you meant, yeah. Sorry, I got really confused.
Yeah, you what? No,
Sorry,
yeah, Katie Winnicott had been brought up, and rightfully so. Like, the girl is sick. She saved us at Oxford, especially.
Oh God, that game.
Yeah, I know. But I think I remember myself and Jojo were both in a boot at the same time. And I was like, oh, it's okay. Like, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
And she got out of a boot way before me, after being in a boot way after me.
Yeah.
And I just thought, it's never ending. Like, I just felt like I couldn't do anything. I wasn't going to get my chance. I wasn't fit enough. And I knew I wasn't fit enough, but I couldn't run. Like, I was trying to do all the cardio that I could. But, like, I felt like every time I went on court, I had to prove myself, especially, like, I did feel like the 13th person. And, like, rightfully so. Like, I wouldn't have put myself on court over any of those girls at all, especially just coming off the back of, like, a massive major injury and 2 surgeries. But I remember turning to Jess Neath and just sobbing because I thought, I'm never getting back on court. And I didn't think, like, at the time, Masters wasn't on the radar for me. And I think I played netball at such a high level, I didn't think I'd ever drop. And, like, having actually dropped is, like, it was really humbling. But it was also just, like, I just thought it was never going to end and I was going to be in that boot forever, or I was always going to, like, have a problem and stuff like that. That was really hard. And I think it's more been mental for me, not necessarily physical, because I haven't played as much as I would have hoped to coming to uni. But no, I think definitely, like, watching Jojo go back on court, and me being like, oh my God, she got injured 3 weeks after I had my operation and I'm still not back on. Like, I had to wait for my stitches and all that kind of crap. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, and it killed me. I can, like, feel it now. Like, I just remember turning to Jess and just flooded in tears. And I was like, I've got to go. So I think that was
I feel
my
like this
toughest.
is like your injuries have helped you like fall in love with coaching more though.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think I always knew I wanted to coach. Like, I came to uni doing that degree.
Yeah.
Like, I've always wanted to be the person who inspires others. Like, I've always had really inspirational coaches. I'm really lucky for that. I've never actually had like a bad coaching experience, which has been really nice. But I think I've always wanted to be that person who's like inspirational. And I think, like you said, because I was injured for so long, I watched a lot of netball in those 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think it helps me actually develop my netball brain a lot more. Like, I've always had, I think, a good netball brain.
Yeah.
Like, I've always understood it. Not necessarily all the time when I'm on court, because sometimes you get like lost in the haze, don't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it definitely has.
Well, you're like our netball mum anyway.
Yeah, well, that's
You
the thing.
are
I
literally
always
our
say that though, because like
mum.
I remember you guys coming in, and then like not really you as much, because obviously you were away with the ones and stuff like that. But like you and Ellie, like you had each other and everything, so like it wasn't as bad. But like you and Chloe Evans especially, like I felt like I was just like, oh, like you're like my little sisters.
Like, take us in.
Yeah, and I
Kinda
felt
cute.
like, yeah, and I think it was just like you were both quite quiet, and like I feel like you were dainty. Do you know what I mean? Like you were both so. I felt like you were both like. I feel like you were both like tiny.
No,
Do you know what I mean? Like I look back at photos now, and I'm like, oh my god. And I feel like, I know it sounds weird, but like you've gone from like teenage girls to women since you've been at Met.
Love that.
Like, I'm not trying to be corny, but like literally, if you look back at photos of you and Chloe from that first year, like you're 18, you're fresh. Do you know what I mean? Like you're really fresh.
Fresh from college.
Whereas I see you now and I'm like, oh my god, like
yeah, me and first year's like a completely
like you don't need me to like.
person.
I had to glue Chloe's shoes back together. Like
I wish you glued my shoes back together.
we didn't ask me to. I would have.
Like the
But
other
yeah,
week.
like Chloe rang me and was like, "Can you glue my shoes, please?" And she came round and I glued her shoes for her. And then like I think anything you guys needed, you probably came to me for.
Yeah.
But
Well, I ran you the other week.
yeah, literally sort my extensions out. Still now, my
Yeah.
21-year-old child, and I'm 23. But yeah.
Perfect. What about you? What's your toughest Met
Oh,
moment?
nothing like what you said. Probably the Loughborough game, I'm not going to lie.
No, I feel like you.
That's what it has to be.
I feel like you, like, have had other things.
I would say my injury, but I wasn't out for that long and it was over Christmas, so I came back quite quick.
remember I left early that training session because I went to Dennis training, and then everyone was messaging me, first of all because I left my netball trainers.
Shock.
That was the first thing.
Yeah.
So right, there were no netball trainers, great. And then they said, "Oh, Izzie's gone down injured," and I thought they were joking.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it's fine. She'll get back up." And then I remember, I think it was the next day I walked in, I saw you in a boot, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, you're lying."
Yeah.
Because
I
who did
went-
we play?
We had Cardiff Uni on the Wednesday and
Yeah.
it was in training on the Monday. And they were like making the Cardiff Uni game like a big thing. It was an important game because I think we had to win to stay like comfortably in
Yeah.
the league. And then I landed on Eloise's foot on the Monday, and I was like, "Oh, it's fine." Walked off, and then when I went to stand up to leave, realised I couldn't walk on it, but was like trying to pretend it was fine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
And then, I mean, they said they couldn't see a fracture on the X-ray, but I think it was fractured. But I missed that game, and then I missed like one Wales camp. I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, you weren't out for long.
No.
But it was just because that game was like...
Yeah, so it was tough. But I was out over Christmas, but then was back beginning of
Yeah.
January, I want to say.
Yeah, I feel
So
like
I did come back
I
quick.
know it sounds bad, but if you're going to get injured at any time, like,
No,
it's
I
the time
was
to get
gonna say
injured.
that, yeah.
Like, you've got 4 weeks then. Do you know what I mean? So it makes you only miss like 2 weeks netball.
It was literally like a year.
Was
around
actually?
now.
That's
Yeah.
mad. I remember taking you home because you did have a rough time with that. I think
Yeah.
like you were at the height of like getting back into everything. Like
Yeah.
Bath had just started again. You were
Yeah.
in Welsh.
Yeah.
And I
I
remember
was
being
really
like,
upset when it happened.
yeah, because I remember taking you home and I was like trying to make you happy, and you like in the car like trying to put songs on that you wanted to sing to, and she just like, was like deadpan. She was just like
Yeah.
cuddling her little jelly cat, and I was like, okay.
Fact.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Loughborough was awful.
Loughborough was horrible. Even though, I mean, we had a good night out after, which kept me actually like going through the whole
Yeah.
game. But it was just like relentless, and like you couldn't even score. And then
I feel like they're just always coming at you, aren't they, Loughborough?
it would be like you'd get a turnover finally after working so hard, and then we'd get it up, but then something would happen, or like
Yeah.
we couldn't get the ball in. Like, not like that it was our shooter's fault, but then like
No,
because their
but-
defense was
yeah.
so suffocating, it would come all the way back down. You'd have to do it again. It was literally like torture.
Yeah. But all of their players were literally, I said
Every
to India,
single one.
were in either MPL or
Yeah.
Yeah.
like Pinch.
We got to think of it like
So that's
Alex
what we
Johnson
think.
was playing against Ellie.
Yeah.
You can't really.
Mary Cholwick wasn't.
Oh my god,
Thank
imagine.
God.
We would have been smashed even more.
But then
were
they
at
brought
100.
brought her in for the quarterfinal anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Did Hallie Robinson play that one?
Who?
Hallie, or was she?
She was at Birmingham.
She's at Birmingham. Oh, she played Loughborough Lightning, didn't she, for MPL?
Yes.
That's why I get them. I get the dresses mixed up because they look the same.
Fair.
They do.
So what has been your favourite Met moment then?
You can go if you want. I feel like I've spoke a lot, so I'm just going to let you take lead.
Yeah, I've spoken a lot. I haven't spoken much.
I've got a lot to say.
My favourite memory...
I mean, I know, man, if you want me to fill the silence.
You go, because I don't actually know. Wait, can you help me?
What's your favourite moment I met, George?
I would say varsity,
Yeah.
but we've lost all of our varsities.
Well, I've only done it last year.
Oh, I've got mine.
Oh, go on then.
Sorry.
You only did varsity for the first time last year?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no way. I just feel like you've been in the first team for so long. Like, I feel like it was a
It's only my
lifetime
second
ago.
year.
I know, that's mental.
I don't know.
My favourite Met memory was our Minion night out in love.
Oh.
You can't just pick the night out.
No, but Jen, I'm not lying. It was.
It was a hell of a night out.
It was like the worst night out, but it was so good. There was literally not a single person out in Loughborough apart from us dressed as minions. We were literally the only people there.
It's
I
the photo
can't.
resume that gets
Yeah,
me.
I know.
What,
Insert
starfishing on the
the photo.
Starfishing.
Yeah, we'll put it in here. I've got a video of her. We can insert that too.
Awful.
It's terrible. I remember shouting at her, being like trying to find a place to get a bottle of wine at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, there's a Tesco down here. There definitely was not a Tesco. And like, Ez was on the road. And I just thought, well, I've coached her, but now I'm not her coach. I can't get her off the road. So I'll just leave her there.
Awful.
And I ran away. And I think you got her off the road in the end.
Yeah, I think I
Probably
did.
even shot me. You had a black eye, didn't you?
I did get a black eye
Oh
from
my
that
God.
night.
Oh, insert the photo of her Spider-Man plaster. Oh, that's so cute though.
Oh, sorry. My other memory would be the bus home after varsity in first year. I think, was it Eloise weed in a bin bag on the back of the bus?
Oh my God.
Everyone was smashed. I fell on Keris's lap. She was not happy.
Oh.
It was just a very funny bus journey back, even though we lost.
She was not happy.
She was not. Anyway.
I think mine, like playing wise, would have been just my first game, like first full game. Like
when was that?
third year.
Was that
No, not third year. My fourth year. Yeah, first full game. I can't remember who it was against, but I just remember being like, oh my God, I'm back. Like, cool, ready, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then coaching wise, definitely varsity last year. I think I'd been asked to do it. And I think last year, after like, obviously I'd coached for like Dragons franchise age group for 2 years, like kind of in a TM apprentice coach, kind of felt like I was, you know, like I was there and in the mix, and the coaches that I was coaching with, like Louise Bainham and Kira, were really good with me. And they like actually give me a lot more agency than I think like other apprentice coaches got that year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for varsity last year, my like talent for coaching was appreciated so much more, and I think that's where I was like, right, no, I deserve to be here. Like I think I faced imposter syndrome a lot at Met, just thinking like I wasn't supposed to be where I was, kind of thing. But then last year when I was coaching, there's a video of me talking to you, and I love it because you're like yeah, and you're like taking on what I've said, and I'm like, but you're doing a good job, and I tap you on the back, and I think yeah, like that's what, like I can do that, and I look normal, like that looks like a coach would look. And I don't know, I think I've never thought of myself like that. So I think being asked to do that last year, and you know, having the faith put in me by like Kira and Airline to like actually just openly talk to like the unit I was talking to, and not need them to like be over my shoulder, kind of like babysitting, not because they didn't trust me, but just because I'm the most inexperienced. I think that was amazing. And then for being brought in for pre-season this year to coach you guys again, I was like, it's kind of like a full circle moment for me. Like I've been there, I've been in your shoes, so it's nice to, especially like the girls in Welsh, like the pair of you, like seeing India go into franchise in Welsh as well. Like I do feel like a proud mum, so it's really nice.
Oh, that's really cute. I actually really enjoyed varsity.
Yeah,
What, last
Like
year?
yeah.
same,
Well, I've
to
never
be fair.
played. It was my first actual
Oh,
varsity.
yeah.
So it was like I played in front of like crowds before, but I don't think you will ever play in a crowd like that.
no,
The varsity crowd
especially
is so
away,
different.
especially away.
Mental. May I ask?
I do think,
I know.
and it is controversial, but I do think away varsity is a better
That's
varsity.
what I say.
It's because you can't fit as many in
Archers
the
Arena.
Archers Arena because
No.
they don't do both sides.
Yeah.
So it's a bit annoying, really.
Yeah.
but-
No, it is.
Our home one, because Archers was packed, but there was probably like a quarter of the people that were in the
Yeah,
bath.
I think as well, like when we had our home one, the only home one I've done has been like it lashed it down. So like it lashed it down. It rained.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, Scouse is in there. Yeah, it lashed it down. So like
It did rain.
it didn't
did
really. I don't know. The vibe just wasn't as there.
No, and I feel like the bus journey homes from Bath make it so much more funny.
Like, that's the thing is, like you said, like, we've been beaten every time we've gone since we've been here.
It was close to last year.
Yeah, it was so close last year, and it was good.
At home, we were winning until the end.
Exactly. But I think, like, that vibe afterwards where you've gone as a team, you come back as a team. Like, obviously being coaches on the bus as well, like, we celebrate with you. Like, you know, it's a massive achievement to play on a stage like that. Like, I'm sorry, some Super League teams last year didn't get that crowd. And you guys get that crowd and fill that arena. That's a big arena to fill. That's 3 netball courts worth. Like, that's a good going size. To fill that and then have some standing at the door watching, like, that's impressive, especially for women's sport. Like, women's sport isn't always on the up, but I really think netball there is.
Yeah. So going on from that, what's next then? So what are you doing this year? What do you think you're going to do then next year? Like,
netball-wise.
Yeah.
I'm doing Wales and Cardiff Met and Romans Prem as well, which are like my main ones.
A lot of travelling with that.
Yeah, a lot of travelling, especially for Romans.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoying them. Doing a couple like local league ones. Oh, league team on a Thursday.
Yeah,
as well.
league team on a Thursday.
And then next year, because I'll be second year of my masters, so I probably will end up staying. So
you're definitely going to do an India still.
Yeah,
You're definitely still going to play next year.
We've been making fun of him for being here.
I know, making fun of the 5th years, but we are going to be.
We're going to be 5th years.
So India still will definitely still be here.
Yeah,
I will
6th year.
Make sure she's still here.
So yeah, hoping to still do Wales, Cardiff Met, hopefully Romans as well.
Can you still do Wales next year? Or do you not age out?
No, because it's like a development thing.
Yeah, fair.
And then potentially trial for Dragons.
I think you definitely should.
Is.
Yeah, I think it depends what happens with the next gen league this year, really, doesn't it?
Just see what happens.
Well, for me, netball playing wise, like, I'm just gonna keep playing. I think my brain fully went when I got injured, like, oh, if you're not playing like regional like you used to or anything like that, then there's no point playing. Whereas now I'm like, no, I can get back into that if I want to. Like, there's women who you play with who are like women with jobs, and it actually makes me realise that just because I'm not like 17 still running around doesn't mean that it's not important. Which is really nice. So hopefully I'm just going to build my confidence. I think get back on court. I'm playing at the moment in Cardiff and District League, and I'm playing up in another league in Cambran, helping me build my confidence back on court, like my fitness on court as well, which is really good. It's been really fun. But then coaching wise, I am going to go to Australia in July, which I'm sad, so I'm actually going to leave Met.
You're going in a van.
I am going in my van. Yeah, so I'm going to go travelling for a bit in my van.
Are you going to decorate the van?
I'd like to, yeah. Well, I think we're going to buy one that's already kitted out, because I'm not going to...
Is it like a caravan or just a van?
No, so like, you know, I used to like the big art. I'm going to get like it's called a long wheelbase transporter. So
image here.
I'll send you what I want. And basically, we haven't decided whether we're going to buy one or rent one. Yeah. But you can basically do that. I just like, it's something that I've always wanted to do, and like my dad always mentioned about doing it when I was a kid and how he never got the chance to do it. And I think everything I've been through in my life, I realised my life's very short, and I want to like go and make... I love the way you laughed at that. That was actually a heartfelt moment, but fine. Yeah, I think I've realised how short life is, and I think I want to go and do that. But I definitely see like myself working in netball. I don't see myself like leaving like netball anytime soon, unfortunately. Like, I don't think my Met journey's over. I feel like I might be dragged in at some point or other for something, or at least some form of, I don't know, maybe, but I think definitely I will hopefully go into working in netball, whether that is for a franchise, which I'd love to coach at the highest level, whether that's in England or anywhere else in the world. I'd love to, but also I love like equality, diversity, inclusion side. So if I'm writing policy and things like that for everyone to have an opportunity to play netball at whatever level they feel comfortable doing, then I'd be more than willing to do that as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and make sure to tune in next week for the next episode.